Hi guys, welcome to the Bloomerang podcast. Today we have a very interesting and somewhat unusual conversation on creative balance. In this episode, we explore how to find and achieve creative balance from the inside, from within, and bring it to life, manifested through the outer success. And Egle is going to be talking with a monk, Dwijamani Dasa, who will share his perspective on this topic. So we hope you will enjoy this episode, and let's dive in. So today we said we will talk about having creative balance, right? And reaching for outer success through inner balance, inner success, right? I think this topic is very relevant for today's youth, today's young person who is really out here, trying to find himself, if we can say so, or more like fulfill his personal mission in life. And how do you navigate that, right? And connect do it from the standpoint of divinity, right? And not just a kind of practical benefits, right? That definitely don't lead to fulfillment. Of course, we need to integrate that in the process and be practical in life, but don't put it as a main navigation stop.
So it's a very interesting topic, and I'll share my perspective, but I want to first let you know that my perspective is I'm a student of, like I said, my spiritual master, Sankarshan Prabhu, and I just try to convey his teachings, and that what I've applied that has worked for me, and it's all based on the writings of one great devotee of Krishna named Srila Prabhupada, whose books are widespread throughout the world now. He began in America in the 1960s, but he actually transplanted a very ancient culture and tradition into the modern life of American youth. At that time, it was the hippie movement, was the great countercultural revolution of America at that time. And it was the perfect milieu or setting in which to do this. Now, he didn't expect that. It wasn't planned by him, but he just found that these people were very receptive to gaining spiritual knowledge, because Americans at that time still are the cultural leaders and also economic giant of the world. So the young people had rejected their parents' culture and society, and it was difficult for the older generation to understand, because they had everything at their fingertips, and many people who had all good opportunities in life for good property, home, family, business, education, they were turning their backs because they weren't finding satisfaction. So it's not the first time in history, but it's probably the most, one of the most, you can say, remarkable times in recent history that this has happened. And it's a testament to the fact that the human experience is incomplete by simply taking care of physical or external needs. It can't satisfy a person, and it can't fulfill, like you said, Egle, that he can't fulfill his mission in life, because we all have a mission, and that mission is to discover who we are and completely express who we are. Now, that requires some knowledge, some education, some training, and inspirational examples of people who have achieved self-realization. I would like to just give a quote right now from Einstein, Albert Einstein. This is something he wrote. He said, the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. He to whom the emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. So, in other words, he's saying, just like a child looks around the world and sees so many wonderful things, the insects, the way the plants and flowers are growing, the smells, the sights, the sounds, the sun in the sky, everything to a child is so wonderful and mysterious. And they ask so many questions. So this type of spirit should be, and innocence should be encouraged and protected. So Einstein, what he's saying here is that this feeling of wonder, of amazement in the world around us, it's real life, and it's what gives inspiration for art. It gives inspiration for real science. So there's, creativity, the creative part of all of us. We all have a creative side, creative energy that's expressed in different ways. But I'd like to distinguish it from innovation. So innovation is when we introduce something new, or apparently new. There's actually nothing new. But every inspiration, every type of technology that we come across, that we discover, it's usually an imitation of, or an emulation of something that's already happening within nature. So I've always been convinced that the person who has the power to appreciate the workings of nature, and above that, the workings of the Supreme, of God, that person, he or she has the ability to unlock that within themselves. Because any power we have is borrowed. Any creative power through my intelligence or my talent or my skill is borrowed. Right? I have it for some time. I'm born with it, maybe. And then as I grow older, my power, my strength increases, and I can express that creative energy. I can create poetry. I can write a song. I can build a house. Then, as I get older, my energies start becoming weaker, and I start understanding it wasn't mine all along. It was a borrowed gift. A gift. Gift is something that is given. It's not something we bring that's with part of us. Now here's the test for all humans, all cultures and societies around the world. All the gifts we've received, how do we use them? What is the purpose? What is the goal that we assign in our life? Some people, all of us, more or less, we have the drive to become distinguished for our talent, or for our beauty, or for our knowledge, etc. So if we make the mistake thinking that we are the source of whatever talent or beauty that we have, then we set ourselves up for trouble in the future, to become disappointed. Because we can't actually be that perfect example of art, beauty, or science that other people, we might want to show to other people, that we can't fulfill that role. Rather, the spirit of a person who's in knowledge of who he really is, what this world is, what life is about, they will offer glory to the source of that inspiration, the source of that light that's coming through them. Now, if we use our gifts to serve this real mission, the spiritual mission of life, to awaken the knowledge of who we really are, then those gifts become our eternal assets. See, then the natural creative energy can come through us. And you see people who are very spiritually oriented, sometimes they give up, they put aside their own endeavors to seek the relationship with God. Jesus Christ famously said, first seek the kingdom of God, and then all other things shall be added onto you. First seek out your connection with God, and then everything else will be added to you. So that's like a faith. It requires some faith. Like when you throw a boomerang, you've seen the boomerangs, maybe you've thrown them. You throw it, and it looks like you're letting it go. But in time, it will turn and come right back. Yep. So that letting go that act of letting go is to show that we have faith. We give up, we let go of our own idea that I'm the one in control of everything. And I'm the one who has the ability to create success on my own, independently. Then we let go, we depend on God, and we'll see that when that trust is built, and that when that relationship of trust is established, then very naturally and easily our life flourishes internally, externally. We find that we get exactly what we need, and actually more than what we ourselves could have done if we depend on our own strength exclusively. So I know this sounds like religious proselytizing, but it is actually the real satisfaction that we all seek. The real satisfaction in our life comes from this relationship, from a very deep, loving, trusting relationship. That's how people become strong people, yes? I'm sure you have that experience. Now, everyone can create. The child can make artwork. The beaver can create a dam. The ants, they create a home. All the way up, human beings create whole societies, civilizations, wonderful literatures, a big dominion. And according to the pagan traditions of the world, like also the Greeks and Romans, they say there's all these higher than human beings. There's the demigods, and they're creating the world and maintaining the world around us. And then there's the Supreme who creates the whole universe. So everyone is engaged in the act of creating in our own capacity. But the important ingredient, like I explained earlier, is the purpose, the consciousness. What kind of desire do we have with that, behind that? So even if someone makes a beautiful, fancy, giant size skyscraper building, but if it's done for selfish purpose and it doesn't actually provide a space to help people discover, who they are, what is their relationship with the Supreme, how to overcome the anxieties of life. If these type of creations don't help humanity achieve this goal, then they actually amount to just a waste of time. Whereas a child makes a small piece of art and he gives it to his parents, and the mother will put it on her wall for many years just to look at it and remember her child, because that art was made with love, with a feeling of appreciation. So she accepts it as more important than even Da Vinci or Michelangelo, right? Because it has so much significance. So it's not exactly the power and the grandeur of what we create, but it's the feeling behind it that we offer it to, that the intention. So whatever we have, we use it for the right purpose. It gives us a vision. We can actually see where we're going. So that is easily done. The first step is, like I said, is to appreciate what we have. Even in the morning, we see the flower growing on our window. Yep. That flower has a beautiful shape, fragrance, colors, And who put that there? It takes so much effort for a painter to try to make a flower on his canvas. He has to make it just right so that it looks like the real thing, and then it becomes beautiful. So, but who made the real thing? Someone had to put it in a seed, and then it had to have the right conditions, and it comes out and manifests a very elegant shape and fragrance included. That is the result of a wonderful, masterful, artistic mind. So then, this type of peace that comes from understanding the source of our inspiration, the source of our desire, then that gives a peace, that gives peace. And without peace, Krishna explains, if there's not peace in the heart, in the mind of a person, then he can't have happiness. Peace is the beginning. First we have to have peace, then we can have happiness, then we can flourish and be successful. So that peace comes from knowing that I belong to a greater reality, and that reality is very personal, and all of my endeavors are meant for connecting to that reality, and everything that exists belongs to that reality, that supreme truth. We call it as Krishna, and that reality is within everyone's heart. That supreme truth is within everyone's heart, guiding everyone's wanderings, and he understands our deepest desires and longings. Then it gains significance. Our endeavors gain significance.